Hi guys, long time. Hope everyone's well. Gonna do a quick update on Bitcoin. Wanted to get 100 likes on my Twitter message the other day, and I got 260 likes. So I feel like as though definitely gonna do an update on Bitcoin. It's been a while. Taking a page out of Tone Vays's book. This is not financial advice in any way. I don't really care what you guys think of my opinion and analysis on the markets. I've been quite bearish for some time now. Those of you who remember the 20,000 a crash video with Jim Cramer, which is probably all of you who are listening to this, since it did go viral, since the 7th of December, I've been predicting quite a nasty move down in Bitcoin. So I see no reason to change that. During that video, which was released around here, I said it's going to hit 20,000 and go to 2,000. So my actual prediction is 2496. And for those of you who are interested, there is a discount code going on my Shopify site, 2496. So that'll get you 50% off until, well, for the next couple of weeks or so. And this Shopify site has all of the knowledge that I've accumulated over the last decade, really. So it's got my Fibonacci videos, candlesticks, the Elliott Wave cheat sheet, which proves to be very popular, psychology of trading, which tells you about the news and how it manipulates so many people into making the wrong calls and decisions, and a couple of webinars which we've done. So, did you buy ECA, risk and trade management, Elliott Wave oscillators, as well as the initial webinar, which was really well received. So 2496 is the discount code. You can pay in crypto if that's what you would like to do. Do accept Ether and Bitcoin. And those of you who want to join the group, just go to my website, financialfreedom007.com, and you get straight to the Facebook group, which I regularly update on videos twice a week, but also during the week as well. And more recently, I've moved over since cryptos haven't been too volatile. I've moved over into having a look at silver, gold, a couple of forex pairs, oil, and obviously the major markets. So it's definitely getting value for your money there with that service. So just pop to the website, have a look, and the Shopify store is the second link. You just click on this link here, and then as I said, it's 2496, which is the discount code for 50% off. So looking at it, I mean, we'll get into the short term in a minute. Just going, it's always important to zoom out first. Let's just get it onto the log scale. So on the log scale, there's your 2496, which will happen at some point mid to late summer, fall, probably fall, autumn. So as you guys can see here, since, well, compared to 2014, we've had this um, move up in the RSI around May, June time. That's pretty much what we're doing right now, but eventually it did end up rolling over. So we're looking for an RSI of 30. That's going to really attract the long-term investors. As you guys can appreciate, there is no new money in this market at all. On the OBV, it is trending down. We've got this retracement, but I expect the OBV to move down. I mean, just looking at it from a fib perspective, if it's hit the 50, I expect the OBV to settle to at least 278, whatever that long number is. Either way, we've got another, 15% movement down on the OBV. So you can stick fibs on anything that you like, on any indicator at any time, okay? Fibonacci is the rule behind life, pretty much. Everything around you is based off of Fibonacci, from, DNA to galaxies, snowflakes, as well as the digits on your hand, 5 of them, which is a Fibonacci number. So it's very, very important. So that's just to look at it from the RSI perspective. So very similar kind of move here. Got to move up, but eventually we're rolling down. And around 30 RSI, almost regardless of the level Bitcoin will be in terms of price. I mean, obviously it will be around 3,000 around this point. Well, definitely sub 5,000, definitely sub 5,000. This will attract the long-term investors, because the long-term heroes, they are the ones which drive the market up. Okay, these long-term heroes who get in for the long term, they want to get in for the next 3 years. And guess what? We're gonna have the same issue in Bitcoin in 3 or 4 years' time when it hits 50K, and then we're gonna have the exact same issue. We're gonna get Jim Cramer, if he's still alive and kicking at that age, at that time, saying Bitcoin's going to go to a million, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get a correction down. And that's just the way it is. I mean, this is the way markets move. In Bitcoin, the market cycles tend to correct from anywhere between 6 months and a year. And then the bull cycles last, well, from here all the way to here, so they tend to last 3 years. So once we get through this correction, and once we hit 2496, we're going to go sideways for a short while, but then the next 3 years are going to be very, very bullish, and we're going to go up to at least 50,000, if not, to be honest, test um, the six figure on Bitcoin, so possibly 100,000. But that's just the way markets move. So don't let anyone convince you otherwise. So that's why I am liking tone vays as of recent times because of that. Silver's about to break out at some point soon, but just to give you an idea of what extended wave 5s look like, this is an extended wave 5 on silver, yeah? And this corrected, if you guys would have a look, 78.6%. Okay, so that's what silver did. So I'm just to bring on oil, which is going to $79. Where is it? There it is. Oil is going to about 79, and then it's gonna hit 79 to 83, and then end up doing this. But what is it? I want to get the what is it? Crude oil, WTI. Yeah. So as you guys can see, extended wave 5, which is typical of commodities, and people rate Bitcoin as a commodity. I'm not too sure why, but I guess it is the nearest asset class. 78.6 retracement. So you shouldn't be surprised that Bitcoin's gonna correct to at least 4,200, right? So this should be of no surprise to anyone. This is just the way markets move. In fact, let me just bring up the silver chart one more time just to show you this in more detail. XAGUSD. Let me just bring it on ICE. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you see here, this is how, I mean, nothing goes down in a straight line. In the end, silver hit the 78.6 of this entire move. But as you can see, it came down, it corrected, and then it came down, then it corrected, then it came down, okay? So it's important for, the market to consolidate in this area as the professionals cover their shorts, and then they reshort. So it's called redistribution. Then it goes down, then it goes sideways, then it goes down again. So people shouldn't be surprised that Bitcoin, I mean, in the end, it's only going to end up at what it was back in July and August and September, really, let's be honest. But at the same time, that is where Bitcoin is going to go. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. And Bitcoin is just doing what silver did and what oil did. It's going to take some time, but during the course of the summer, you will see this markdown. So as you guys can see, it goes down, go sideways, go down, go sideways at 4,200, then it's going to go down, go sideways, and then it's going to go back up again. So there's nothing which should be surprising, and in the end, it's only going to end up going to what it was back in July, August, and September. This is not like Bitcoin is going to go all the way down to here. That's not going to happen. Okay, eventually buyers are going to come in, especially when this weekly RSI hits 30. So that's just to put the whole thing into perspective, okay? So, it's important for you guys to understand other markets too. I mean, gold and silver and oil, they're just telling you everything about what can happen to Bitcoin. So, short term, there's two counts, okay? Obviously, I was the first guy to mention this WX1, which a lot of the people are now mentioning, which is fine. So either the X wave is going to finish here at 11.5, or it's basically finished here. It's basically finished at 9,800 or 10,000. So that was just an ABC. So there is a possibility that we could end up making the X wave up to here, which is still possible. That is still possible. That count hasn't been invalidated, but things are looking very, very weak. Okay, at the end of the day, we're gonna see sub 6,000, and we're gonna end up at 3,000. So for you long-term investors, as I've been saying for a very long time now, it's not a market for you guys. It's purely a speculative traders market. But that is one possible count. The other count is, sorry, that is one possible count. So let me just make that clear. That is one possible count, which is what you're seeing here. The second count is that, let me leave that wave on. The second count is that this was the X, and this is not an ABC at all. This is actually, let me just take off this ABC. Let me just remove the lines. The second count is that the X wave actually finished here about a week ago, and actually we're going down in a 1 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to get all kinds of bearishness there. So let me just make that count clear in blue, make that really big, millennium. So that is the other count. The other count is that this has just been 5 waves down off of wave 1. We're now going to make some really poor effort wave 2, which is probably going to end up at around this sort of level. Somewhere between, I'd say, 89.32 and 93.48. In this region, there's a lot of VPVR support, and there's a lot of, sorry, VPVR resistance and fib resistance, okay? So this is a good time to reshort if you get the idea that Bitcoin is going to roll over, because as you guys know, wave threes are very, very fast. So for it to be bullish and for it to maintain this otherwise bullish count, which is this one here, once again, I use that term loosely, okay? In the end, 3,000 is going to happen. So it's a very, very loose term. For this bullish count to remain, let me take that off. It's hit this target. Let me take that off. For this bullish count to remain, really, it needs to break all the way past this level here. Once it breaks past 93.60, we're pushing on to the previous high, and then it can either truncate here or it could potentially go to here. Either way, whether the X wave is here or here, it doesn't really matter, I suppose, because the end goal is a massive, massive sell-off. Okay, so don't be surprised if that happens. That should not come of any surprise to anyone, and I will be proved right. Okay, 2496. You know, fine. It might not hit that exact number. I might be out by $1 or two, but it's definitely going to come around 3,000-4,000. So it's important to have those two counts on your mind. So for those of you who are trading this, once again, no long-term positions here. For those of you guys who are trading this and you want to get in on some short action, well, potentially because this 1-2 count hasn't been as of yet invalidated, this might be a good area to short. And I suppose you could put your stop. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose it would be here or the 78.6. But if there's some idea that there's some weakness creeping in, if the volume starts to confirm there's divergence, there's world-time negative news, well, then we can get a really big sell-off. And then with this B, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want it coming lower than 77. That was my line in the sand. There was always going to be a lot of buyers here, and that level has stood. But honestly, it's looking really weak. And as I said, the X wave might just finish here, in which case you can take this ABC off the table, and we're just going to end up going lower. So however way you cut it, we're going lower, 100% guaranteed. And once 6,000 breaks, a lot of people will get shaken out of this market. There's way too many heroes here. On Wall Street, they don't like heroes, they like Bitcoin. So once all of these heroes hand over their Bitcoin to the big guys, then we're going to start seeing the end of this bear market. But we're nowhere near done. Probably, I don't know, 45% off the way done. So you should listen to Sven Link and you should listen to Tone Vase. Not found anyone else who I think knows what they're talking about, to be honest. So that's Bitcoin. Nothing else to be said on that, really. Yeah, there's not much else to be said. If I go on the weekly chart, one thing on Bitcoin that it's always done, it's had weeks of high volume and high price movement followed by a week of contraction. So if I just take off everything, please work. Yeah, so high movement, contraction, high movement, contraction, high movement, contraction, high movement, high movement, high movement, contraction, high movement, contraction of price, high movement, contraction, high movement. Now we're getting a bit of a contracted weak candle. So this is implying it's going to have another highly volatile sort of week, either up or down. So, you know, is it gonna go down and then go up and then go down, or is it just gonna go up to 85, 9,000-ish, nice round number, retest previous resistance and then end up coming down? Either way, we're definitely going down, and 2496 is probably going to happen. So, I've just shown you the charts on silver, gone over the OBV, and weekly RSIs are very, very important. This is what the long-term professionals, they don't really care about hourly RSIs, and they don't care about trading 200x on BitMEX. They've got better things in their lives to do, like make millions. So yeah, that's where I feel we're at here. So just be very, very careful. A lot of these altcoins have had their wave fives up, and let's be honest, none of them are near their previous highs from a week or two ago. So just be very careful. I don't think it's worth committing any large amount of capital. And just to show you the volume profile too, you can see it's very similar to what it is here. So highly volatile red spikes and poor green volume. Highly volatile red spikes and poor green volume. It's exactly like 2014 in every single way. Except the reason won't be MT Gox this time. The reason, because they have to explain something to the little fishies and tadpoles, is maybe Tether. I don't know. They have to come up with something. They can't, like it can't be the tech crash. It can't be the property crash. It can't be the bond market crash, which is happening now. It can't be geopolitical events because they've used that one before. So they'll have to come up with something. I don't know. Maybe Coinbase gets hacked. I don't know. That would be a bad thing, to be honest. Maybe I don't know. Bitfinex goes down. Tether goes down. They have to blame it on something because they can't tell you what the truth is. And the truth is the professionals have sold out at 20k. They are sellouts, and they've just the sharks that they are, they've just swam around the Atlantic Ocean, and they're waiting here at 2496, just like all the intelligent people are waiting at. So nothing else to be said. We are going to go down. So that's it. Nothing else to be said. So, but yeah, short term, the real target to put on a good trade, I suppose, is 8,500. But I suppose if it breaks through here, I suppose it could reach 11.5. But if everyone man and his dog is waiting at 11.5, then I'm not surprised that they dumped it early. So that's a key level to watch. If that starts to roll over, well then we're going to have some issues, and the Dow Jones will have some issues as well because it's correlated to Bitcoin. So I'll leave it at that. That's the follow me on Twitter, please. A lot of interesting debates on there, a lot of polls that I do, which can be very useful to those who understand them. 2496 is the Bitcoin, is the 50% off discount code 2496. You can get all of my knowledge up in here. You might learn something, you never know. And then you can also join the secret Facebook group if you want. Just go onto the website in the description below. So we're going to be in for an interesting summer, and by the time we hit the fall, there's going to be some big issues in Bitcoin where we're going to see much lower prices. And as I said, in the end, we're only going to end up reaching what it was back in July and August, which is no big deal. But for people who bought after September, for them it's quite a big deal. So, but now you guys have learned how markets move, and this is the linear chart. Now you guys understand. Now you guys understand what a blow off top looks like. This is what a blow off top looks like. Okay, I always use the log chart so you can't really see it, but that's what a blow off top is. So I was warning a lot of people here things were going to go wrong. So, and that is exactly like the silver chart. It's no different at all. Silver had its blow off top, as you guys know. You silver heroes out there, we all know the $50 silver blow off top, and it retraced 78.6%, and it had these. I mean, look at that. It's almost exactly like Bitcoin. How it's gone down, it's made this flat pattern, then it ends up going down again. So, make of that what you will. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the RSI on 30 here as well. But obviously, silver's a much higher market, so you might have to use the monthly RSI. But you get the point. Yeah, so you get the point. The RSI does reach oversold levels. That's when the big boys are going in, and that's probably where it's going to break out over the summer, go to 24, and then end up going back down again. But that's not a bad little trade if you guys want to get in on that. There's a lot of cores here on silver. There's a lot of cores. It's not quite ready yet. It's just mucking around, but it's making higher. So low high, higher low, lower high, higher low, minus this candle, low high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. So it needs to break one way or the other. It's pretty much confined within $1. And this pattern doesn't really make sense for it to break down. Doesn't really make sense. It makes sense for that to be three waves, A, B, C, D, E triangle, go up in five waves or three waves, and then end up coming back down again. So that's what Silver can do. So yeah, that's Bitcoin 2496 and all that. So good luck, and I'll chat to you guys soon.